Hey YouTube, we're Basic Liches. My name's Kamo. This is my buddy Wolf.
Hey!
Today, we're going to talk about some Dungeons and Dragons. Specifically, we want to get some game masters, some dungeon masters ready for their first sessions.
We want you to understand what you need and what you don't. There is tons of crap to buy for D&D. And not all of it is absolutely necessary. Not all of it is even essential. What we want to do is cut through all the BS. We want to get you a very concise list of things that you can have for your first night to get you and your friends playing and rocking and rolling with. And I want to set you up for the best chance to have like that. Yeah, like this effing ruled. Like, let's play D&D forever. Like, that is what we're going for.
Now and forever. As a new DM, you want it all. You when you're starting, you want every little piece. We're going to save you some time, definitely, because we made those mistakes. So we're going to help you. You are the captain now. You're going to be the ultimate nerf herder of your friends, trying to get them all together to play D&D. And the sweet spot for how many people you need is probably around like 3, 4. That's a good number to start with, especially for starting DMs. You can play between 2 and 5. It gets a lot more difficult the more people you have. And you're going to be in charge of scheduling, arranging when you're going to play. Pick a day that works for everyone and you know, think about everyone's needs.
There's a lot of videos out there that are probably going to tell you that you do not need to know every single rule when playing D&D. And that's true. But what I would, at the very minimum, recommend is that you give a skim of the free basic rules that you can find on Wizards of the Coast website. We'll put a link down to those down past the old naughty bits down there. And you can also buy one of the 2 starter sets that are available. Yeah. Ooh. Very nice. They have a slight, like, skimmed down sort of rule set as well. I think it's even less than what's in the basic rules. I think it's a pretty good place to start.
So the basic rules of D&D are definitely enough to get you started. But at some point you will eventually need to read through the core rulebook.
You don't need to memorize every single rule in the book. But there are a few things that you should probably focus on, namely like how combat works, how to create characters, how magic and spells work, and probably how to ask and call for skill checks. Those are the most important parts of the game, and if you can internalize that, you'll be in a very good place.
A great writer has his quill. So one of the first things you need at the Dungeon Master's table is a writing utensil. Break out the pencils. Pencils. Bring them out for your players. Ask them to bring them, but have some available for them in case they don't have any. You don't want them to feel left out. Also, pens? No pens. Erase. Your players are going to want to erase, erase, erase. Beautiful pen. The next thing we're going to recommend is index cards. Not essential, but a very useful tool for you for taking notes. You may want to create an item or jot down an item for a player and then hand it them, or even give them to your players to have notes for themselves. But it really works very well for giving your players secret messages that only they know and no one else does. This is just a dick.
Dice. You gotta have dice. This is essential. You need to get yourself some role-playing dice, which consist of a D4, a D6, a D8, a D10, a percentile die, a D12, and of course a D20. This little guy right here, this is like the secret sauce, man. It is so fun to just roll a D20 and hope for that critical. This is what you use to tell your stories. Provide dice for your players. I think that's very, very important.
Now it's time for your handy dandy notebook. Every DM needs this. You're going to want to take notes down for yourself about your players, what they do, and you may want to give some to your players who are going to be keeping track of your story.
Yeah, have a notebook. That's pretty simple. Don't not have that. One of the most important thing that your first time DM needs to have is character sheets. You got to print them out, make sure that there are enough for each player, maybe have some extras on hand in case they make some mistakes. You got to have them. Don't forget to have character sheets.
Yeah, like we did.
We totally
We were going to show you. We wanted to show you.
Yeah, we totally forgot to print them out.
Yeah.
And
don't do that.
don't be like us.
Yeah. Be prepared.
Be prepared. Be like Scar.
Be prepared.
Be like Scar. Kill your brother. Another very important piece of Dungeons and Dragons paraphernalia that you're going to want to have at your table, it is essential, your DM screen. Absolutely essential. A big part of being a DM is providing almost a showman-like experience for your players. You want to be able to gesticulate, you want to be able to hide things behind there. Very, very important. It's another piece of the puzzle, the secret sauce that makes Dungeons and Dragons so much fun. But you don't need to buy this. You do not need to buy this at all. You can, in fact, just make your own Dungeon Master screen. Just get some manila folders, tape them together. Cost you next to nothing. Just grab crap that's lying around your house. Something that can divide you from the players so they can't see all your tasty secrets and all your notes.
Build suspense. Create that tension. They don't know what's behind here, and they're wondering what's behind here, and it's driving them crazy.
You drive me crazy.
The next thing you need is a place to put your bums. You need a nice, spacious room, enough room at the table for all of your character sheets and your notes as a DM. Make sure we're not all huddled up in a corner, kind of like trying to roll when we got our elbows on each other. No, something nice and comfy. D&D is played over 2 to 4 hours sometimes, so make sure you guys are comfortable.
Yeah, that's like a half day's work, 4 hours. Get the biggest bleeping table you can find, and make sure that you're in a comfortable, maybe temperature-controlled room. You want to be comfy.
Yeah. This is no joke, guys. This is the next piece that is essential to playing Dungeons & Dragons at the table. You guys are going to be here for hours, possibly during dinner time. So what you need is some snacks. You need chips. You need popcorn. You need some stuff. You need a giant Reese's Santa that you can share together. Anything that's going to fill your bellies, keep you guys happy, provide snacks for your players.
Must have. Number one thing every single week. You got to bring your snacks. Have your friends bring them, but if you're hosting, if you're the Dungeon Master, grab some munchies for all your friends. Pre-generated characters. We talked about having character sheets. What's a pre-generated character? That is when you as a Dungeon Master create characters beforehand and you have them ready for your players so that the minute that they get there, you can just hand them a character and they can get to playing. These are not essential, but I think that for some people that are apprehensive about playing the game and coming up with their own character and backstory and ambitions, they might be a little apprehensive about diving into the role-playing. I think pre-gens sort of, they provide that nice little social lubrication for role-playing.
Nice and easy, quick, simple. It's like picking a character in a video game. And if, they want to make their own character, it's a simple enough process. It's going to help them out.
Yeah, you don't stop anyone from making their own characters.
No.
But, again, you could go to Wizards of the Coast and, click down on the little bit little naughty bits down there will provide. They have pre-generated characters on their website, so you can just print them out. You don't even have to come up with them on your own.
Now that we've got things and snacks out of the way, you need to prep your adventure. Your players need content. What are you going to play? You got a few options. You can do the one-shot. It's a little more difficult for DMs the first time around. You got to get everything done all in one session, but even if you don't, hey, you get to play a second time with your friends. You could plan a campaign for them. What I want to recommend you do during this is not to get too bogged down into what exactly is going to happen in your story. Come up with where they start, a climax that might happen, and where you want to take them to the end. The last option you can do is choose a pre-written adventure by Wizards of the Coast, by someone who's written one. Great stories, great content, things for you to use and play around to get your characters started and your players started in the world.
Yeah, there are pluses to minuses to each of these. We're not going to recommend one or the other. Just know that those are your options. Pick whatever really speaks to you the most. If you are really passionate about telling a single story, do one shot. If you have an idea, just like an idea for a campaign, not like a story or novel, start a campaign. If you want to know how Wizards thinks you should play the game and how you should run it, get their modules. Just know that you might have to tweak them a little bit for your group. All right, so you have an adventure now. You know that you're going to run something for all your friends. You got a time, you got snacks, you got the books, you got everything you need. Congratulations, you've just assigned yourself like the nerdiest homework in the entire galaxy.
I can't wait.
Yeah, you're never going to get through all the crap that you prep. That is like the first thing you're going to start realizing after you get a few games under your belt. So prep what feels right and then just do it. Just play. Don't be like, "Oh, I need another week, guys. Let's push out that first game to next month." No, just do it. You have enough prepped. You're going to be fine. Play.
We know you want it to be perfect. But it will be perfect. You don't need to have everything ready. Think big, think cinematic, think like a movie and scenes and how scenes change between each other and who's in the spotlight and the big scale pictures we're looking at, like backgrounds and mountains, and describe everything. Describe the smell and the sight and what they hear, and go big. The next thing we're going to talk about is role-playing in your sessions. Do you do it? Can you not do it? You definitely don't need to do it, but it brings so much to the table if you can just be open with it and enthusiastic about it. It brings a lot of fun. Just don't be afraid to be yourself, be silly, make voices. They don't have to be right. Just have fun with it.
Yeah. As a dungeon master, you're going to want to lead by example. When you're fighting goblins with your swords, make slashing motions, and when the goblin dies, make like death gurgle. Just release the inner theater kid and just have fun. You don't have to do it, but I think for your very first session, it's going to put people a little bit at ease if they're like feeling uncomfortable doing it. And you don't have to be in voices the whole time. Just, maybe just pepper them in every now and then.
Yeah,
but
set the bar for silliness.
Yeah, exactly. It's D&D. Just have fun. Congratulations. You have everything you need. You have all your prep work done. You've got all the crap we told you to buy. And guess what? You are going to everything up.
Yeah.
It's going to be a nightmare. Who cares? It's fine. You're going to panic. You're going to think everything is crashing and burning. Your friends, your players, they're not going to know.
No clue.
They're going to have no clue. You're like a duck on a pond. You're like, everything looks calm right here, but my little feet are very worrisome right now. There is no right way to play D&D. There's no correct way. No amount of videos you're going to watch on YouTube are ever going to prove to me or prove to Kamo that there's this one way that you need to play the game. The only wrong way is not playing at all.
The wrong way is not having fun.
Yeah. We're going to end this video with a pew, 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 bang!
Get rid of all this stuff if you have it. Well, you just don't need it.
You don't need it yet. We want you to be thinking in terms of like an indie movie for your budget. Let's cut some things out that you don't need for your first games. Miniatures. You don't need these. These are not essential. You can use almost anything to mark stuff on the map. You can use Skittles. You can use coins. You can use pieces from board games you have lying around. You do not need to break the bank with miniatures.
Build the imagination, theater of the mind. Dry erase pens and battle maps. Get rid of them. Don't need them. You can have them. They're fun, but unnecessary.
That's it. You don't need them. You can just have a plain piece of paper or use that graph paper we told you to buy before. Make a little abstracted map. When you're doing combat, you can explain to people where they are. It's fine. Elaborate battle terrain and cool set pieces and things like that, you do not need it. Again, shrink down your budget. You don't need these things. They are superfluous. They don't add anything to your game. Use your imagination.
Use that graph paper.
Use that goddamn graph paper.
Are you providing multiple copies of the player's handbook to your players? Don't need to. It's all on the internet. It's on their mobile devices. It's okay if you have one. That's fun.
You just need one book. Just, you can share it. You'll be fine. You guys will survive for your first game.
Save a tree.
You do not need to understand how all of the character mechanics work in the game. So if you have 5 different player characters and they're all different, you don't need to know how all the wizard stuff works, how all the druid stuff works. Yeah, you need to have a basic understanding, but it is going to be up to your players to figure out how that stuff works. You can help them, but it is on them. One last thing. You're going to want to put on music, sound effects, all this other stuff to like create a mood and an atmosphere. You don't need that. It's just going to be wasted prep time and nonsense. Again, small budget. Don't need it.
That's it, guys. You're ready to go play. Lure your friends in with booze and pizza and have a great time.
Yeah, our camera is literally about to die because we're bad at this. But D&D is awesome. You get to use your imagination. You get to eat good food. It is an absolute blast. Don't overthink it. Get the stuff that we told you. Stay away from the crap that we told you is unnecessary. And we'll see you next time. We are the Basic Liches. Bye. I'm Wolf.
I'm Kamo.
We're out.